Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to PetWatch, the monthly show right here at the Whatcom Humane Society. I'm Laura Clark, Director of the Whatcom Humane Society and your host for the next half hour. And no folks, we are not at our shelter on Division Street in Bellingham. We are here out 14 miles east of Bellingham at Nugent's Corner near Everson at the Whatcom Humane Society's Wildlife Rehabilitation Services Center. We have so many animals in need out here. We thought it would be a great opportunity to spend the next half an hour showcasing the life-saving services happening right here at the Wildlife Rehab Center, and I think you are going to agree. So let's not waste any more time. Get comfy on the couch with your 2- and 4-legged companions, and we'll be right back right here at the Wildlife Center.
There are thousands of dogs and cats housed in shelters that need your help. Local shelter professionals and volunteers give their heart and soul to help unwanted animals and deserve your support. Americans give millions every year to national animal organizations, but unless you give to your local shelter, you can't be sure that money will make it to the pets that need it most. Adopt, volunteer, and give to your local animal shelter. To find your local shelter, go to humaneforpets.org.
Folks, we are here inside our Wildlife Rehabilitation Services Center with Alicia Ellsby, who is the manager of the center and a licensed wildlife rehabilitator. Alicia, it is busy. Thanks for taking the time to be here.
No problem.
Okay, it's been busy and hot this summer. Talk to us about life at the center here.
Life at the center has been a lot of fun. It has been really busy, really hot. We've already hit the thousands for our patients. Usually at this time of year, we're in the 700 to 800 range. So we've seen quite an influx of patients, varying from different species. We have quite a few fawns, raccoons, possums, squirrels, lots and lots of birds. We've seen an increase in birds, even like raptors, eagles, barn owls, barred owls, saw-whet owls. We've seen a lot more than we normally see. So it's been hopping. It's been pretty busy and hot. You know, the temperatures reach at least 95 in here some days with all of our heat pads, incubators, and heat lamps. So it keeps us on our toes for sure.
Absolutely, and I can tell you folks, the Wildlife Center is out at Nugent's Corner. It is not open to the public for safety reasons. I cannot think of a harder working group of staff, volunteers, and interns. Tell me a little bit about a typical day here at the center.
Oh boy, a typical day. There really isn't such a thing, but we'll pretend. Okay. So the day starts, anywhere from 7 to 8, depending on what kind of calls are going on. Myself, as staff, sometimes I'll get calls early. There's a call right now. From 911 before my shift even starts, or from animal control before my shift even starts. And so you never know. We get to the center, we check our messages because the phone, as you can tell, rings off the hook. So we make sure there's nothing pressing. Then once all of our messages are dealt with, if there's a rescue we need to go on, we go out on that rescue, pick up that patient, bring it back here, do an exam, and then get it into treatment. If there's no rescues, we start feeding all of our guys here. So we have over, I think, 120 patients right now in care. So that takes quite a long time and a lot for us to do. So we'll start feeding them, cleaning them, medicating them, whatever needs to happen. Then the phone will keep ringing, so we'll keep going out on those rescues. Then we kind of have staff time in between there where we have patients that have been here for a while where we have to change wing wraps, we have to change splints, we have to medicate, we have to reassess. So we save a little bit of the day so that us staff members can go together and look at those patients and make sure that they're doing well in amongst taking care of everyone and doing the rescues. So it's a whole gamut of
And you never know what's going to come through the door. It could be a hummingbird, it could be a buck. You just never know.
We never know. It's always, sometimes we'll get a call of, exactly, I've got a deer running around my neighborhood with a, basketball net stuck on its antlers. Can you come help? Well, yes, we can. But, it's quite a call. Definitely not as easy as I've got a baby hummingbird that needs to be fed.
Right.
See the whole gamut.
So, just a reminder, folks, the Whatcom Humane Society Wildlife Rehabilitation Center is supported entirely by donations. So, the hard work that these folks are doing depends on your generosity. To find out more, go to whatcomhumane.org. And if you see an injured or orphaned native wild animal in need and you need help, you can call the center. The phone number is 966-8845. And Alicia, if somebody sees a wild animal in need, what should they do and what shouldn't they do?
So the best thing to do for that patient is leaving it alone, just taking a step back, giving us a call. Because once we get that call, we can feel through what is it, what's going on, what's its injuries, how is it acting. Because sometimes we think of animals injured or orphaned, there's the phone again, we actually, and they're not. They're just acting in a normal way that they would, which to us appears scary or like this shouldn't be happening. So we want to make sure that it does need our help before we jump on that patient and make sure that we're doing what's best for them. If we determine that, yes, it does need a rescue, if it's something that, the public is safe doing and is confident doing, like picking up a robin that hit a window that needs to come in, then we'll guide you through that process. We'll guide you how to pick it up, where to bring it, what needs to happen. But really anything that's bigger, definitely our raptors, deer, raccoons, we like to go out and do those for safety reasons and make sure that that animal and that the public is being as safely handled as it can. So definitely giving us a call first. Don't feed the animal. That's our first instinct. These cute little babies. It's squirrel season right now. So there's lots and lots of little squirrels and everyone finds them and they're like, oh, they need food. Mom's not here. Mom's been hit by a car or they found them on the ground. And yes, they do need food. But once they've been stabilized, they have to go through a procedure where we'll rehydrate them, where we make sure that they're able to digest the formula before we feed them. And we also have a specialized formula that's actually made for each individual patient. So we have one for squirrels, rabbits, deer, raccoon, you name it, we've got it. And they're very specific to their needs for their gastrointestinal system. So if we just feed cow's milk, puppy's milk, kitten milk, then they come in and they have diarrhea, and then they sometimes don't live through that because of the dehydration. And that makes everyone sad because that's not the intent. So really just not feeding the wildlife is the best thing to do.
So first and foremost, call the center for advice, see if these ladies can help. So we have a really exciting animal here at the center right now, a cygnet, right?
Yes.
So tell us, what is that and why is it so cool that the Whatcom Humane Society Wildlife Rehab Center has this animal?
So a cygnet is a baby swan, kind of growing up as you read The Ugly Duckling. That's what we've got going on here, our very own cygnet. This is really cool and a really neat opportunity because no other rehab centers get cygnets. Cygnets usually, if they are going to be hatched and raised, it's by their parents. It's very rare for them to be orphaned. And most of this is done actually up north in Alaska. So they migrate. They migrate down from the north here around October through March. Then they fly back up. So right now they're having their own babies up there. So for there to be one here, there's something, we have a few resident populations that do stay the whole year, or something hasn't gone quite right with their migration. So for that opportunity to be presented to us is pretty incredible because it's not common. We don't ever get to see these things. And he's a really special little guy, definitely kind of quirky and cute at the same time. And so we're able to keep him until he's ready to go back into the wild and be released with the other swans.
Now, I want to thank our volunteers for building his special enclosure. It was really awesome of them to do. But he has sort of a fake mom, and which is really sweet to see, but kind of sad to see too. So what's the story with that? Why are you doing that?
So waterfowl, in particular cygnets, they imprint really easily. What that means is that when they hatch, they bond with something, whether it be a stuffed animal, a human, a rock. They're going to pick something that they're going to bond to, and that's what they're going to bond to. So that's why we try really hard to never have any interaction with them, because we want them to stay away from us. We do not want them to be, for them to look at us like we're their mom. That's not our intent. So what this little guy actually has is he has a swan decoy, one of the, the big full-size trumpeter swan decoys, that's what he's bonded with. That's his mom. So when it's bedtime, he goes to bed with his little mom. When it's daytime, he gets to come outside. He goes for his walks. He goes for his swims. And he does that all with mom there because that's what he's imprinted to and bonded with. And our hope is that, in a rehabilitation setting, we can't necessarily bring in a mom. The reason he's here is because he doesn't have a mom. So we do the best we can with what can we do that he can imprint to that's going to be best for him in the future. So something of her size, of her resemblance, it is like an adult swan. So that's what we're hoping he'll bond with and get to know.
And then the goal is to release him when it's an appropriate time to do so and he's old enough to care for himself.
Yes, when he's fully flighted, when all of his feathers have come in, when he's able to eat on his own, he's able to stay away from predators, he knows the difference between flying high, flying low, all those types of things is going to benefit him in the future. So when he's ready for that, he gets to go back out there.
And he'll be released where there's other trumpeter swans.
Yes, he will be released in hopefully a colony where there is maybe some other cygnets that have survived, but also with swans that know the migration route and know where they're supposed to be. He'll be released with them, so he's got some of his own kind for sure.
It's kind of adorable. I think you'll all agree now watching this footage. All right, talk to us a little bit about deer in general. Fawns, we've got a lot of them,
Yes.
and what people should know about them, what we're doing here to care for them.
So fawns are very special in the sense that they are a prey animal. They're a large animal. You know, we see the adult deer all the time, especially the bucks with their big racks, but they're still prey. So they flee from us. They don't want to be anywhere near us. We're not their friends. So we get a lot of hit by cars, especially Bellingham. We have quite a big deer population. And so, you know, they just don't know and they'll just run out. And especially with fawns, sometimes mom, if she's an experienced mom and it's her second year, she'll have two fawns, she'll have twins. So she'll run across the road, she'll bring that first baby with her, then that second baby's running and it's just not enough time before that car comes. So unfortunately, we see a lot of that going on. We have quite a few fawns right now. Over 10, which is quite a lot, 10 to 15 range is what we're seeing right now. And they all have a story. Not one of them has been brought in that didn't need to be brought in. They're all either been hit by car, their mom's been hit by car, stuck in fences. We see a lot of that right now. They're trying to go through those wooden slatted fences and their hips get stuck. So what we haven't seen that we're happy about is kidnapping. That's what we call it with the fawns because it's so very cute and they sit there and they look like they need help. They're just sitting there. There's no mom around and we go, oh my goodness, you must need us. You're a baby, which is actually not the case with fawns. Mom will leave baby for 4 to 6 hours, sometimes even 8 as they get older. She'll be far away. We have no idea where she is. We can't see her. We can't call to her. And she's left baby in this nice little pile. So baby will kind of be curled up, the head will be up, but it's not moving and it's not going to move because we're a threat and mom's told it, stay baby, and that's what the babies do. So those types of babies don't need our help. What we tell the public and what we do for ourselves is we do the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. If they can't breathe, if they've got any bleeding issues, any wounds, then yes, it definitely needs our help. With or without mom, those types of things need to come in. So that's what we really encourage people to do with fawns specifically.
All right, and we're going to wrap this up, folks, because Alicia needs to get back to work. So people call all the time and say there's an injured adult deer. We need you to come tranquilize it immediately. Why, in most cases, can't we do that?
So it's actually quite a privilege to be able to even trank any because we're one of the only rehab centers that has a tranquilization gun and permit to do so. So we're very lucky in that way. The reason that we can't always trank is in the best interest of that animal. If it got hit by a car and has a broken leg, that seems terrible, it looks terrible, we really feel for that animal. We've got a lot of empathy for that animal and sympathy. But in hindsight and also looking forward into the future, deer do great with 3 legs. We know that. We have a population of about 60 to 70 3-legged deer in Bellingham that we know as the regulars. They can still breed, they can still eat, jump fences. We even have 3-legged moms out there that reproduce and bear their young and care for their young just fine. So in those cases, it's not in our best interest to go tranquilize them because that's quite the chase. The drug that we use and that we have supplied to us, it still takes them about 3 to 4 minutes to go down. So once we shoot that dart, they have 4 minutes to just run. And we all know deer. They can run, they can bound, they can, they're gone in a second. So our tranquilization team has to be able to track them because we need to find them when they do finally get sedate and to the point where we can help them. That doesn't always go the best for that animal. If they've been running, they can get what's called capture myopathy, which is essentially a buildup of lactic acid in their muscles, and it causes a heart attack. We don't want to do that. If they can survive on their own, if that injury is not too severe that it's impeding their everyday functions, it's going to be much better if we can leave them, especially if they're a mom. We do not want to separate them from those babies because then we've got orphan babies. So it's really case by case with the adult deer. If there's a lot of things, like if there's more than 2 legs broken, depending on how the condition is, I could go on and on about when we will trank and when we won't. But generally, it's going to be in that deer's best interest if we leave it in nature where it's supposed to be, especially this time of year when we have a lot of babies. We can't tell if it's a mom or not because, like I said, she'll park her baby somewhere. And sometimes after the fact, it's, well, she is a mom, now what? So we really reserve that for desperate cases and for cases that we know and have seen that need our help.
Absolutely. Again, folks, if you are needing help from the Whatcom Humane Society's Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, you can give them a call at 966-8845. They're located here at Nugent's Corner in Bellingham. And Alicia, if you had a need right now of some type of supply that people could start collecting, whether it's branches, fruit, cotton balls, what would some of the needs that the center is going through a lot right now?
We're going through quite a few eggs. We go through eggs, any type of eggs, a lot of eggs, fish, salmon in particular for our eagles and things like that. Lettuce, our little Signet guy, he eats a lot of lettuce. It can't be the iceberg lettuce or like the head of lettuce, but romaine leaves, anything like that. We're going through tons and tons of that a day. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, you name it, and toilet paper, paper towels. Those are always things we definitely need.
Absolutely. For a full wish list, go to whatcomhumane.org. And if you have any of those items and you want to drop them off, give the center a call. Again, 966-8845. And they can set up a time, and it would be greatly appreciated. Alicia, I can't thank you enough, all of the staff, volunteers, and interns here. It is a privilege to take care of the orphaned and injured native wild animals in need in our community. And I see Animal Control just walked in with an injured gull, so we're going to go check that out. And thanks again, Alicia.
Thank you.
Well, that was our show. I sure hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And wow, want to thank Sarah, Alicia, all the staff volunteers and interns. What a hard-working group of folks here at our Wildlife Center. Really appreciate all their efforts on behalf of injured and orphaned wild animals in our community. Want to thank our volunteer producer extraordinaire, Russ Nelson, the great folks at BTV Channel 10 for bringing us PetWatch. Don't forget you can also catch PetWatch on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. And for more information on the Whatcom Humane Society and all of our programs and services, visit whatcomhumane.org. I'm Laura Clark. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on PetWatch.